Hi everybody, Fictitious Fox is back. Finally, after a long break from YouTube. I was a little underwhelmed with my channel just because I don't do as well here on YouTube as I do on Instagram. But I'm trying, and I thought I would try and alleviate some of the drama that's going on Bookstagram and on Book Twitter and all that. So rest assured, there is going to be no soap penises here, and there will be no plagiarized fan fiction. But we are going to do a book tag, and this is a very fun book tag that I have thought up, kind of thought up. There's an old book tag that's similar, but nobody really does it anymore. So I decided to make my own and kind of go with it, and if any of y'all want to do it, go ahead. You don't have to tag me if you don't want to, but I thought this would be pretty fun. We're going to do the dog breed book tag. I love animals, and I love dogs, and I would show you my dog, but he's currently being a little bit of a grouch. Anyway, before we start, I would like to mention two shops that I rep for that are very special, very near and dear to my heart. First is Barely Lit Creations, and I will mention them down in the bio. But this is their Aiden tote, and it says, "Am I not merciful?" on it, and it has the errors and all the numbers and everything. They're so pretty, aren't they? Isn't that such a nice bag? And there's several different sizes that you can get. But Josh has all kinds of other stuff on his shop. He has stuff for Harry Potter and stuff for the Lunar Chronicles and just about any fandoms that you can imagine. He's come up with something for so far. So go and check it out. And the next one, I have two book sleeves from Bookamabob. And this is a really awesome sleeve company. See, Bookamabob sleeves, they're sturdier. They got this thicker material to them, so they're thicker sleeves. And they keep your books a little more safe than the regular sleeves do. Like, for instance, I can't find the one I'm using right now. It's under books. But anyway, they're thicker material, and they don't fall apart when you wash them in the washer. Because I know sometimes you have those sleeves that they get dirty and you want to wash them, and then the filling and stuff gets all twisted inside, or they fall apart. These will not. So these are very awesome sleeves, and I'll mention that shop down in the description too. Oh, hey, there's the sleeve I'm using at the moment. See, that's another one. That's a very thin sleeve, but I needed something small for my bag today. I went to the gym. Anyway, I will go ahead and put the tags for the dog breed book tag down in the description as well. But let's go ahead and get started. Number one is Pitbull, a book with a bad reputation that you love. I am a huge Sarah J. Maas fan. I love anything she writes. So it's no surprise that I absolutely adore A Court of Mist and Fury. A lot of people have a problem with this book because of the infamous Chapter 55. Honestly, I think it's amazing. I don't think it's YA. I consider this book NA because I honestly wouldn't feel comfortable letting my teenager read this. But it's still a really good story, and I absolutely adore it. And I think a lot of people hate on Sarah J. Maas, but I personally love her writing, and she's one of my favorite authors. Next is Chihuahua, a short book that you loved. One of my other most favorite books in the entire world is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. And I really like this edition in particular. This is the Puff and Chalk edition. And Puff and Chalk has several different classics that are in this design. It looks like it's drawn in chalk. But this is a really good story, and it's very lighthearted and fun and adventurous and whimsical. It's really, really awesome. And this is a book that is great for children, teenagers, or adults. Next one is German Shepherd, a character who is protective. Did I do this right? Yes, I did. Yes, I went there. I mentioned the tote. I had to go there. I am going to talk about Aiden. Yes, Aiden kills a lot of people. But, spoiler alert, he does it under the guise of protecting the rest of the fleet. And I really like Aiden because to me he wasn't a villain, he was doing what he thought was right. Yes, it may have seemed like a villainous manner of doing things, but he was trying to do the right thing. I absolutely loved Aiden, and I thought he was a very creative, fun character. So many books. Let's see. Number 5, Golden Retriever. Oh, no. Number 4, Yorkie, a side character who becomes the hero. Okay, if anybody has ever read Harry Potter, they know who I'm going to talk about. Neville Longbottom. Neville Longbottom, the guy who we all thought was this strange little dude who never did anything, becomes the hero. Yes, I'm not going to tell you how he becomes the hero, but let's just say Neville becomes a badass in the end, and I absolutely loved it. Neville ended up becoming one of my favorite characters. I didn't really think much of him until the very end, and now I greatly respect Neville. Number 5, Golden Retriever, an old favorite you love to read. I adore Warlock Holmes. This is my favorite book series ever. Warlock Holmes by G.S. Denning. G.S. Denning is a master of retelling, and this is such a hilarious, paranormal parody retelling of Sherlock Holmes, and it's so masterfully written. He literally writes each story, but with a magical perspective, and Warlock, unlike Sherlock, is a little bit of a ditz and doesn't really know what's going on in the real world, but he's a master sorcerer. And it's so funny and such an enjoyable read, and I just devour them so quickly. I have reread this particular book of A Study in Brimstone 13 times now. I love this book, and some of the pages are actually falling out of this thing, so I really do love this book. Number 6, Great Dane, a large book or a long read. Strange the Dreamer. A lot of people have an issue with Strange the Dreamer, mainly because it's a little difficult to get into because the writing is very poetic and prose-like. The imagery is pretty intense, and it's really considered kind of high fantasy because it is extremely whimsical, but I loved it, and I thought the writing was beautiful. The way that it told the story just drew me in. It was literally like you're dreaming in the story. It's just such a beautiful story to read. I absolutely adored it, and I cannot wait for Muse of Nightmares. I've already got it pre-ordered. I actually pre-ordered the UK cover. I like the American cover of this one better, but I like the UK cover of Muse of Nightmares better. I just think the US cover for Muse of Nightmares was really ugly. But Strange the Dreamer, absolutely fun book, and if you haven't read it yet, just go ahead and read it. I put this one off for so long before I finally picked it up, and I wished I had picked it up sooner. Number 7. Alright, it's over here. Number 7. Rotweiller, Dachshund, an adorable cover. Eliza and Her Monsters. I love this book so much. I read it in a day and a half. It's such a cute story. I don't get into contemporaries very often, but this is an adorable story. Shut up, phone. This is an adorable story that you will absolutely get drawn into. It is so fun, and it's full of nerdy references and people in cosplay and comic book love, and it's just so amazing, and I adore this book, and I really wish that she would write more books like this because this is great. And this needs to be a movie. Okay. Number 8, Rotweiller, a book that made you mad. If you've ever read the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick, you will know that it is about angels and Nephilim and a war going on between fallen angels and Nephilim, and it's very promising. The storyline is very promising, but the ending, finale, left me so disappointed. I did not like the ending of this series, and it made me so mad. I invested so much time and energy into this series, and I felt like it was a waste, honestly, and I really wish I had never read this series. Number 9, St. Bernard, a book that soothed your soul. I think one of the things about being a young adult, being a kind of a new adult in your early 20s, is stepping out and going to college and living on your own. It's kind of a scary time. And even, like, I didn't even really move out until I was, like, 22, something like that. And for me, it was a scary new chapter, and I had never really been away from home, been away from my family like that. And I think that it's a struggling time for any young adult, and Fangirl perfectly portrays it, and how you find yourself in this new world, and you don't really know how to carry yourself, and you don't really know how to go out and make friends in this new environment. But eventually you do find your inner strength, and you do go out and step out of your comfort zone, and when you do, you find something new and beautiful and awesome. And I love this book. I've not read Rainbow Rowell's other books, but I really want to after reading Fangirl. I absolutely adored this book. And the last one is Husky, a book to snuggle up with. The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Stiefvater? How do you pronounce that name? I don't know. Anyway, The Raven Boys is such an awesome, magical story. I got sucked into it, and I love all the characters. Blue is adorable. Gansey is so awesome. Adam is so lovable. Ronan is a little less lovable, but still, he's got his good qualities. And poor Noah. Anyway, I won't spoil anything, because you need to read this book. But I am currently reading book 2, The Dream Thieves, and I absolutely am enjoying this series so far. But there you have it. That is the Dog Breed book tag. I will go ahead and put it down in the description below. Please subscribe. Please like the video. And if you want to, you can follow me on Instagram at 1,500 followers. I am going to be holding a giveaway that will include an Elder Wand, among other things. But I am extremely excited to see who does this book tag. God bless you. Peace.